Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Michael.
I'm Aiden Mathis.
Start off the bat, I want to bring up something. David, while we were waiting to go to the cross-country meet, he said that he watched our episode of iCarly, Human Self-Isolation and American Escapism, and he thought it was hilarious. So...
Thank you, David.
Yes.
When you said David, I immediately thought of David Thoreau. So I was like, no, he doesn't mean that David Thoreau, does he? Because I think he's dead. So
who's David Thoreau?
He's I'm gonna make sure I say this right because I know I'm gonna screw it up. Let me look it up.
Oh, is it like Thoreau?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
He's an actor?
No, I think I'm thinking of a different name then.
David
Someone Thoreau.
Thoreau.
I believe he's the guy who wrote Walden Pond, but I don't think his name's David then. Henry David Thoreau. That's what it is.
Oh, because you're talking about the British guy who's like, it would be pronounced, or not British, but like Thoreau and Thoreau.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was thinking David Thoreau. His full name is Henry David Thoreau, but yeah, so understandable mistake.
One of the people also said, how deep is Walden Pond? And I was like, well, if you mean the book, it's pretty freaking deep, man.
Who asked how deep is Walden Pond?
And it's just like a suggestion under, like,
okay.
People also ask, because I looked up Walden Pond author, and it's like questions off, didn't ask.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, literally, as in like the actual book, it's quite deep. I've only read a bit of it, but it seems a very complex text, and the literally probably not too deep, like maximum 10 feet. Oh. It's like that's my guess. I have no clue on the subject, but it is a pond. How deep can ponds get? You're a researcher here, Michael.
No, I'm not.
Okay, fair. Any other comments?
No.
Okay. So David enjoyed our episode?
Yeah.
Delightful.
It is.
He's 1/7 of our entire viewer base.
Yeah, well, actually, I looked, we have, 417 total minutes of watch time.
Really?
Yeah.
We've eaten up that much time.
Yeah.
That's just impressive.
Yeah, 77 views total.
That's like 3 people watching nearly every single one of the episodes. That statistic makes me happy inside.
Actually, I think it's more like... Hold on, I'll find it. The view count from first video to newest video: 12 views, 13 views, 10 views, 8 views, 5 views, 3 views, 9 views, 5 views, 5 views, 6 views, 1 view, 3 views, 1 view, 2 view, 1 view, no views.
What is the one with only 1 view?
Most of the recent ones.
That makes sense. People still have to catch up because we have accidentally been putting out large amounts of content at once, like an hour's worth technically.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to catch up on all of that at once, which makes sense.
I actually need to upload the podcast.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. If you had uploaded it.
And we're back, but with the process of movie magic, we never left.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I had an idea. And basically, you know how Alex is writing a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Know where this one's going.
Where do you think it's going?
Oh, I don't need to tell you.
Oh, I know. I want to hear your prediction.
Just say it. I want to see if I'm right.
Okay. I want to write a book myself.
Oh, wow. Shocker.
I know, right? Crazy. But, so I've been thinking about the details for the past, 5 hours, but, okay, so I want to name it The Gambit, because that's an amazing name.
I'm pretty sure there's already a book called The Gambit. Hold on.
Ah, that sucks. I mean, there can be 2 books with the name The Gambit. Just
The
make it
Gambit Book of Instructive Chess Puzzles. Okay. Tyler, this podcast is going to be Instructive Chess Puzzles, ?
No, that's fair. That's fair. Instructional chess puzzles or sci-fi novels taking place in the year 12,017. And
Wait, did you say 2017?
12,000.
Okay, because I was going to say, buddy, that's
this. Today. Yeah, but I wanted to have it take place in about 10,000 years from now. Have it be taking place in a universe where there are 5-ish other intelligent species that we've met, as well as like the humans being a space-faring civilization, but just starting to colonize outside of the solar system due to the inherent difficulty of doing so.
Oh, sorry, I figured out. The Gambit was a movie.
Oh.
And a bad one.
When was it made?
2012.
Okay, that sucks. I was going to see if the copyright could have been off, but nah.
Oh, I think it's a comic book.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Actually, an article was posted an hour ago that Rumored Gambit details T's X-Men connections.
Whoa.
So there could be a movie about a Gambit, which is a part of the X-Men.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I'll check that up at a point, but I guess I'll look it up.
That's perfect timing. Screen rant, thanks.
I'll look into a new name then, and also I will call it the Gambit for current, for simplicity's sake, argument's sake. I want to have 5-ish other races, but they're just so have it so that they just colonize out, like they started colonizing Alpha Centauri,
which is
Which is? It's the nearest star system.
Right.
It's the nearest solar system. Excuse me. It's like, I'm gonna get this wrong. I think it's 3 million light. Oh, I'm gonna look it up. Gonna look it up. 4.367 light years. Which, in our fastest craft, as of this moment, would take thousands and thousands and thousands of years to reach. Yeah. But the point is so that it's after that, because we already have craft, and I'm deciding on the speed of craft, like a vessel, and the fuel they use, and the level of technology. Because what I'm thinking is that it should be almost as if, you know how like when the Americas were colonized, there was this age of people on ships very often. And there were, different people claiming different lands. And I feel as though that sort of idea should be represented, as in, for example, there will be space pirates, which first off is an amazing term, space pirates. And secondly,
just kind of steal stuff on international space.
Yeah.
That's funny. Not international seas, international space. It was like the line from The Martian where it was like, so I just stole something from Mars, which is technically international space. I'm a space pirate now.
The first identifiable space pirate.
Yeah.
But also as a note, I want it to be hyper realistic.
Okay.
Like you reminded me with The Martian. Like when I say hyper realistic, I mean as realistic as I could possibly be. So if
but it's sci-fi.
Good point. Oh, I mean, the point, I think
it's impossible to write a realistic sci-fi novel because we don't know what will happen in the future.
Well, I think you can base it off actual mathematics.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why
mathematics is fine, but I was like, you can't say.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like, realistically now, we're not getting to Alpha Centauri.
That's the reason I'm called science fiction.
Yeah. Not realistic fiction.
The main character is supposed to be a biologist.
Oh.
Which is pretty weird, given, it's a book 10,000 years in the future. But this is during the stage where there's only 10,000 people outside of the main solar system. And so at this point, there's the early stages of colonization of specifically Alpha Centauri. But the whole crux of the situation should be that there's a new fuel source that's found in Alpha Centauri. And it's something that people have never thought of before, but it allows them to get to nearly speed of light travel, because there are materials that can be made that could not be made anywhere else in previous, in the I'm gonna call it Solar System A, because I forget what ours is called. I think it's just called the Solar System.
I don't know.
I don't know if ours has a specific name, but.
Oh wait, I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to cut out of this video.
Huh.
Hold on, let me scroll back and look. Oh, I can't without pausing the recording, can I?
And if you do that, it might.
And it's gonna mess up more.
That's scary.
I'm gonna pause it. Yeah, because I don't have to cut anything out. I can just pause it and it'll look like. All right, hold on. Brief pause.
Okay, we're back. Hello.
Literally sounded like nothing for them.
Yeah, I know, but I figured we might as well make clear those small cuts, so then people can be like, "Oh, I noticed that, and I'm not crazy."
Well, yeah, because I said I would make a cut. Oh, it's so weird. Hey, I'm gonna make a cut. Welcome back from the cut. Oh no, I was just letting them know that it was a cut.
I find that quite funny, like as a viewer, like the people they'll say that, "Oh, we're back from the cut," because then they recognize that like they don't care because they don't see it. I find that hilarious from the point of view of a viewer. But anyway, back to the Gambit. I want to make it as hyper-realistic as possible, and the main character is a biologist, and he's being paid by there's a research team that's been sent out for Centauri with civilian population and various other people, basically just starting a civilization there. And also, as an aside, it takes light years for information to travel between the two of them. So that's also a note. So just keep that in mind that it takes 4 years, 4.5 years to get a message back to Earth.
Oh, wow.
And then it takes 4.5 years to get messages back to the colonies. So just keep that in mind. It's actually the same problem they faced in The Martian, where like messages took like 28 seconds or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same problem. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I want to make it as hyper-realistic as possible. The main character is being paid off by basically a research organization that's kind of seen as like basically Harvard. That's going to simplify it. Basically Harvard, but then they have like a seedy underbelly, like a corrupt part where they can pay people to do illegal research. That's considered amoral and such. For example, there's a treaty that says that if any unintelligent life is found, which the boundaries of intelligent life will be talked about inside the story, but if any unintelligent life is found, it should not be tampered with. As in, you should not. Once you find it, leave. That's like the.
And that's for unintelligent life.
Yes.
Why?
They actually make contact with 5 different intelligent civilizations.
Why
along
unintelligent
the way
life?
down to Centauri. Sorry?
Why unintelligent life?
Because I'm trying to describe this. It's basically they agreed that they didn't want to spread either change what was happening to the evolution on the planet. That's to put it simply. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but they can mess with smart things.
Oh, because they're already intelligent, as in they can communicate and share knowledge to help better both races. While unintelligent beings, there's only really the space for harm. And if you're an amoral scientist willing to work for money, a good profit. So, yeah. The main character, who I was going to call Thoreau for now. Thoreau. James is the nickname. He's a biologist. He works with 4 other people, which are also researchers. There's one philosopher, which I think will be nice, because I'd like to be able to portray my thoughts on future philosophy and what's deemed important when they're sending a philosopher to space.
Yeah.
But mind you, on the way to Alpha Centauri, generations have passed.
Yeah.
Because at the time they did not have the near light speed travel that they do have when they get there.
They just had like kind of fast.
I think that I'm not really sure of speed that I should pick on. I think it should take 100 years for them to get there, which is about 1/3 the speed of light. That makes logical. About 1/4.
Okay.
There's more specific math there, but I'll skip that for later.
Yeah.
Because it takes 4.357-ish light years to get there. So,
Mhm.
wait, no, then it should take they should be working at 1/16th the speed of light. I'll figure it out later. Sorry.
That's confusing.
But
I had to yawn.
it's okay. But also, what time is the podcast at? Because I'm all thrown off.
15 minutes.
Oh, okay. But the goal would be to have it so that they're exploring these places and interacting with the intelligent civilizations, as well as illegally, mind you, studying the unintelligent species, which the idea of intelligence will be touch on a lot, as well as hive minds. I want that to be a large,
Would that be intelligent or unintelligent?
That's actually supposed to be up in the air for the story.
Okay.
One thing, so I was thinking of two major conflicts that would be the major conflicts. The first one would be with a hive mind type being, and there being a political dispute over the ability to communicate with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that leading to the possibility of war between different factions. Because I think that corporations would be the only people who could actually fund these types of missions. So I feel as though corporations would be the ones who people would faction with. Which sounds kind of funny. We think I side with Walmart in this debate, but basically that, if you want to put it in a more simple way. And does everything I'm saying make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. But either the idea that people are arguing over basically morals merging with morals merging with politics, and then there could be almost a war over that. Because at this time, weapons have advanced 10,000 years too, not just travel. So I think that gene tampering would be the main thing. I have developed a weapon, inside of a writing space that basically it would use radiation to change the genetics of the future generation's children of the opposing side, and then you could do whatever you wanted with that.
So make them all stupid?
That's an option. Or you can make them all incredibly strong and rebellious, so on and so forth. Genes control almost every factor of a person.
Yeah.
Although that is an argument in psychology. I'll fight you on this, but
I thought experiences would be
there's an argument whether experiences or genes are more important.
I'd say they're both pretty important.
I would agree they're both very important.
No need to argue, guys. They're pretty solid options both ways.
But all you would have to do is make it so that they don't make, for example, they don't make receptors for dopamine. So then they all grow up without dopamine receptors.
Oh, so really depressing.
Yeah, or
just yeah.
Again, if you wanted, you could do basically anything with gene tampering, because you can affect these systems that allow them to feel emotions. That itself could affect behavior.
Yeah. I have a question. Do you think that you would feel if you didn't have dopamine receptors, if you just felt zero happiness at all, do you think you would feel extra sad, or just feel nothing at all since you didn't have any happiness to base off of? You would just feel normal, but normal would be bad.
I'm sorry, could you restate that question one time? You kind of lost me at the beginning there.
All right, so you don't have dopamine receptors. You can't be happy at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would that make you extra sad, or not sad at all because you don't know what the not sad is?
Well, let me think about this for a second, because removing the dopamine receptors because the way that human brains are built, that they're made to develop with the idea that dopamine receptors already exist.
Mm-hmm.
So then normal developmental growth would occur. Well, normal plus problems. But also, for the record, this is not. I'm not completely sure. This is me thinking of a logical solution to this problem, because this is. I don't know off the top of my head any cases where this is a thing. But I would imagine that they would grow up very sad, or in some cases, as a coping mechanism, go into sociopathy, where they don't feel emotions anymore, because that's kind of a horrible existence, to put it simply.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, how could you be sad if you didn't know what happy was?
Well, they still have sad receptors. Again, that's a very simplified version, but they still have chemicals that make them sad.
Yeah, but that would just that would just feel like the base.
well, that's just how brains are built. Like, they recognize sadness. Although we don't have any, again, I don't know of any cases where someone's dopamine receptors are blocked off from birth.
Yeah.
And then I would imagine that there's a very good chance that people would starve themselves because they don't have any incentive to eat food.
Yeah, because it's not
when
good.
This was done in lab mice, when they took out the dopamine receptors from mice, if they put, the only way they would eat, if they put the food in their mouths, then they would chew. But again, they can't enjoy the food. That's because that's how people
we have 30 seconds left on the podcast.
Oh, okay. Have a good day.
Thank you for watching this episode.
Have a good day. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found my concept interesting. Although I didn't get to finish it, which is kind of
yeah, sorry.
But I'll talk about more a later day when I have more thoughts.
Oh, all right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for watching, David.
David and only David.
Everyone else.